Hello, welcome to episode 21 we're on now of No Holds Barred. That's Sam.
Hello.
And I'm Don. And as always, we're just going to have a catch-up about the week's politics and social issues and have a rambling chat about anything else we can think about. So what have you been up to
this week? It's a bumper
it certainly
one.
is, I think. Do you think a two-parter again? Maybe.
I think this might be part one. Yes.
Yeah.
I alone have 3.5 pages of notes purely on the juiciest of PMQs that we've ever had so far.
Yeah.
Certainly on this part.
Yeah.
And then I've got about another 5 or 6 points of order of interesting things that have happened this week. So,
fair enough.
And that's and I, as usual, I'm not even touching the reformatives,
which has got an awful lot of stuff happened in the last week since we last spoke.
Oh yeah. So
hasn't it just so?
So if you want to know what's coming up on the show, we will be obviously PMQing. And what else have I got? Where's my other? There it isn't. Nope.
No.
Other stuff. I will put a trigger warning on now because it is Suicide Prevention Week globally, and I will be talking about a cause of that later on. So if you have or haven't heard of Akathisia, stay tuned because education is brilliant and knowledge is power.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
And is that my page with the notes on? Yes, here's. We've got good news story and a funny. Double bubble. I've got an entertaining little sports bulletin. Sort of crosses over with politics a little bit. We're going to be talking about the summit's flotilla on its way to Palestine. BBC at the Select Committee this week. Tim Davey, that was interesting. And probably other stuff that we've forgotten about that I haven't written down. So it's a full broadcast today.
Certainly we're going to be talking about Reform's party conference last weekend. That's going to be the main focus of my weekly input, or at least part one input for sure, because lots of things happened. And it was really interesting.
Yes, they did.
Let's just say Andrea Jenkins, and then we'll come back to it later. For those of you not watching, Sal's face is a picture.
Well, I have reasons, don't I? Which we'll talk about when we talk about that. It was,
absolutely,
for alternative reasons, the absolute highlight of my year.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. Should we do PMQs and then reform and then discuss all the other business?
Everything else, yeah. Go for it. Definitely.
We'll see how
Let's
it
get
goes.
our PMQs. I should get a PMQs jingle, shouldn't I? Let's make a little jingle up for PMQs. Yeah.
That might be an idea. Something along the lines of the Benny Hill theme tune.
I'll do it.
But not this week. This week was very interesting. And I'm going to praise you this with one of the most interesting things about it that's got nothing to do with it, which is why it's interesting. There was, I don't know if you noticed, a great big elephant in the room at PMQs this week. And its name was Nigel.
Yeah.
Not mentioned. Well, might have been mentioned after I stopped listening, but later on, nobody mentioned Nigel Farage and his latest scandal, which, there are many takes on that. Yeah. Starmer opened up condemning the Israeli strikes on Qatar last night. He spoke to the Emir of Qatar and he was assured by him that Qatar will be taking diplomatic path to peace. They won't be returning fire, is how I interpreted that.
Yeah.
Starmer, and I've got this in quotes, I'm not paraphrasing here. Starmer condemns Israel's actions. Restrictions on aid must be lifted, and building on settlements must cease. Bearing in mind, he is this week hosting Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, who flew in yesterday, wasn't supposed to be flying till tomorrow, but he came yesterday, not on his official aircraft, which is interesting.
Yeah, strange.
He talked about Russia bombing Poland last night with the drone attack. Fully supports Poland, spoke to Tusk. The coalition of the willing will work together to find peace. Okay, bon chance. A Tory boy stood up whose name that wasn't pronounced very clearly by the Speaker Hoyle. He started talking about the Labour sleaze that's happened since they came into power, the resignations, and of course, Angela Rayner having legs and a second home and avoiding tax. And
Usual, yeah.
he stated that the Prime Minister had taken more freebies than any other MP in the last Parliament. Can that be true?
Don't know. I heard that, though. There was a big thing about it, wasn't there?
Because I know Badenoch's expenses were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the PM. So, I don't know. I think that needs checking.
Yeah.
Would that it were a priority, but, you know. And Keir Starmer essentially said, you have no legs to stand on. Sit the fuck down.
Well, fair enough.
The plank question this week came from Scottish Labour. Isn't investment better than decline? And then Starmer confirmed that they would be sending millions of pounds to Kirkcaldy to invest in their high street. Good for Kirkcaldy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good on them.
Now, this is where it gets strange because I've find myself agreeing to the tune of about 95% with Kemi Badenoch this week. That's very disconcerting because
it's really...
she came out almost like a human being. She agreed with
really
the
weird.
PM on his take on Poland against Putin. Only. Didn't mention anything else.
No.
And she brought up Peter Mandelson, who, for anyone who's been living under a rock, is currently the UK envoy to America, in America. Twice sacked as a Labour MP, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Very involved in the weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist so that we could go and bomb the Middle East. He's essentially a very, very shady politician at best, who also has many, many years tracked history of working with Epstein. And he carried on his business dealings with Epstein after Epstein was arrested for paedophilia. And in fact, I think I have a quote on my phone of a note sent to Epstein by Mandelson. Tell me I screenshot it. No, I didn't. That's really annoying.
Is it his 10-page birthday thing?
Anyway, there's a note floating around that he sent to Epstein, and it's ambiguous if you didn't know the circumstances.
Yeah.
But when you know the context in which it was sent, it is horrifying. So, Badenoch stands up, brings up Peter Mandelson. Does Keir Starmer have confidence in him? She actually didn't mention Epstein at the time. She just said, does he have full confidence in Mandelson? Starmer says he got ahead of it, condemning it. He stood up and said he condemns Epstein when she hadn't mentioned him. So he's clearly highly aware. Peter Mandelson has expressed deep regret. And in fact, I wrote yum yum because that was how Peter Mandelson signed off his note to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, yeah. Which is really horrible.
Badenoch said the victims are asking for Mandelson to be sacked. Was the PM aware how close Mandelson and Epstein were? Starmer reiterated that he has full confidence in Mandelson. All due process was followed during his appointment. Again, he said he's expressed deep regret as is right. he's playing an important part in the UK-USA relationship. Badenoch retorted, you didn't answer the question, did you have any knowledge at the time of his appointment of his business dealings with Epstein? Does he really think Mandelson is tenable, given he brokered deals with Epstein post-conviction? And Keir Starmer said, yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Weird.
Shoot yourself in both feet while you're doing it.
Well,
Badenoch,
I mean,
it's embarrassing and a disgrace. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, she's not wrong. No, I was just thinking back to what Liz, our guest last week, was saying, Liz Webster, about the interconnectivity of Keir Starmer and lots of bad people. And Peter Mandelson should not be in position, obviously, at all.
It's a very small world, especially with the internet now. It's even smaller, and when you get to the top of that pyramid, it's even tinier. Everyone knows everything, and if you've ever lived in a small town or village, you'll know that in that circumstance, it's toxic as shit, and they all know. She said, it's embarrassing and a disgrace. Will he publish all documents related to this? Starmer swerved it, proper swerved it. Badenoch said, Mandelson has got a history of being a wrong 'un, twice sacked. Will he publish the documents and that were presented during his appointment, the process of that? Will he force Mandelson to publish all documents relating to all his business dealings with Epstein? Starmer said, like this makes it better. Peter Mandelson's very busy doing his job in the White House.
Fucking hell.
And funny enough, I put, swerved the question, waffling about anything else, twat. Badenoch stood up and basically buried him and then accused him of waffling. So I'm a bit like, me no like you. She buried him. I put, Christ, this is weird. Oh no. Oh yeah, there we go. So she stood up, she buried him. So I put, Christ, this is weird. Oh no, she started slagging off the unions again. Normal service resumed.
All right, yeah, fair enough.
Phew. And then she started giving handbags about leadership contests.
Yeah,
because
for the deputy PM.
And they still don't have a deputy leader, and they haven't had for. So it's a bit. Why?
Yeah, no, Kemi Badenoch's never had one. So yeah.
So it's a weird hill to die on.
Well, it is, especially
she's done ever so well.
Well, it's a weird hill to die on, is they had so many leadership contests within the space of 3 years or whatever it was, and the last one took about 6 months or something to get through. So yeah, that's an odd one for her to go on. But the rest,
well, they've tied it right up, haven't they? It's naughty what they've done this time around. But anywho,
yeah, that's a thing for next week maybe. But yeah, Badenoch was acted like the opposition today. She did what she was supposed to do in her role, rather than the culture war shit that she normally pulls. She actually,
it's almost like it's something she actually believes in.
Quite possibly. Although I did see yesterday she did a little press conference on Twitter, and it was a very different presentation to her last one, where she was in front of a mattress. Do you remember the one her backdrop was a mattress with some writing on it? I'll put a picture in. It's funny if you haven't seen it. But this was very professional, with lots of nice, neatly folded flags, and she was very well dressed and presented. And she said she was offering Conservative support to help rein in spending and tackle the welfare bill, but her presentation had gone up several notches from the last one. So yeah, maybe she suddenly realised that she's about to be kicked out of her job.
Well, a broken clock's right twice a day, isn't it? So,
well, yeah.
Tom Rutland
Sorry.
asked a question about. He was delighted the NHS waiting lists are going down and what have you, but can the PM explain that there's still a lack of GPs? I think. Starmer stated the improvements that they've made in the last year. Apparently, we've got 2,000 more GPs than we had under the Tories. And he mentioned the new thing they're doing, which is a 10-year health plan for towns. Now, I actually saw my local council post this on Facebook about a new scheme that's come in to assist the well-being of people just like me who are chronically ill and can't work, offering up more resources to us or something. So I read it, and then I clicked on the link, and then I read some more, and it's something like, it must be a trial run, because there was something like 36 spaces for people. And I'm like, right, okay, if there's 36 spaces, I'd like to apply right now. Where do I do that?
Yes, please, yeah.
And just like the Trailblazer thing I was looking into for my son, absolute tumbleweed. So they've announced something, and I'm like, great, how can I improve myself with that? Oh, I can't, because it's just words. Right, okay. We're announcing something that we haven't actually organised yet.
It's a shame.
Infuriating. Ed Davey was, okay. Cat are bad. Tell Herzog. And it's Suicide Prevention Day.
Yeah.
Parents of disabled kids have to jump. I mean, he said parents of disabled kids have got to jump through hoops to get the things that they need, like sort out the taxes and the benefits and what have you. And not just the carers, disabled people also, Ed. And they're carers. It doesn't, it's not just your little fucking bubble, mate. And then went on to ask Starmer if he can do something to help carers of disabled children who work in Parliament. Oh, just the ones that work in the House of Parliament, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else can fuck off. Sod off, Davey. You're not getting me award this week,
no.
knobhead.
No, 2 weeks in a row, it's faltered.
They don't realise how they reveal themselves with what they don't say. It's madness. And
he often frames everything around his kind of real world experience, doesn't he? Which sometimes works, but sometimes doesn't.
Sorry, I've turned the wrong page. He said that the system isn't compliant with being a carer. Will the PM work with carers across the house to overhaul systems for family carers so the government works better? What about the country working better?
Yeah, it's more than just those 650 people. Yeah.
Keir Starmer agreed and wanted to thank everybody working to curb suicide, like he gives a shit. Ed Davey then asked about the Mandy Epstein thing and expressed his surprise at how confident Keir Starmer was in Peter Mandelson, as we were 5 minutes ago.
I know.
He asked, has he asked the White House if they have further damning evidence of Mandelson's links as he leads our business in the UK? Starmer said all due diligence has been followed.
Yeah, that's a weird one, didn't he? Because he's basically potentially compromised in national security terms, isn't he? That's the problem I think Davey was trying to get to, and Starmer's just like, yeah, whatever. Chill out, mate. It'll be fine. Yeah, there's got to be. It's weird.
There's something. We don't know what it is yet, but I'm telling you, there's something.
There is something, I think.
Stephen Flynn, my hero, bless him.
He's awesome.
He said, Gaza's a graveyard, and welcoming the man who called for the eradication of Palestinians and signed actual bombs here. A man who will totally ignore the Prime Minister. Okay, I haven't written my notes very well. He was poo-pooing Herzog being here in the strongest of terms.
Yeah, he was.
And asked if, he said, would Starmer welcome Putin or Netanyahu? And what does it say about the Prime Minister that he would welcome this man to our shores? Starmer said sanctions have been applied. We all want peace. He won't give up on the diplomatic route. And accused Flynn of having the politics of a student, which he's just a rude psychopath. I'm sorry.
That was bad.
He's
It was a really
he's a
bad
rubbish
response.
psychopath.
Yeah, he's not very good at it. It's just not able to read the public mood because, contrary to what you might think, looking at Twitter, the majority of the public want that to stop instantly. And, you know, he can make a big difference just by clicking his fingers, Keir Starmer, and he's doing fucking nothing. Well, in fact, he's doing negative nothing because he's... Yeah, exactly. He's inviting Herzog into Downing Street is just... Tone deaf is not even
He
close
should be
to...
inviting him to fucking handcuffs. But
Well, exactly.
You know what? You bury your own hole, mate. You keep on digging, Starmer.
Well, he is digging. He's digging hard.
Well, I hope he ends up in The Hague. He should do.
I don't know.
We're still helping them out. They're still using Akathisia.
Yeah. They're still selling arms and still manufacturing arms. Is it Elbit Systems in the UK?
Well, that went under the radar this week. They've been forced to close down in Nottingham, I think.
They've closed down 2 or 3 sites.
On. Oh, well, there you go.
Because
so it's slowly working, but...
Yeah, there's a site in Tamworth, which is in the Midlands, not far from where my mum lives, actually. And I had a look at it on the map because I found them. They've closed their doors. And some are, but they're still not. There's still lots of...
I mean, we say that. We don't know they haven't opened up somewhere else. Because these are the people who have, like, undisclosed locations with no signage on them.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, the one in Tamworth, I went to have a look at. It's just on a trading estate. It's just, as you say, it's just a roll top, no, what do you call them? You know, roll up door.
Shutters.
A brick building. Yeah. And that's it. But they manufacture parts for drones.
So the only people who really know are the government. So.
Yeah, they are.
Very problematic. Exactly. Bill Esterson. I want to say he's a Lib Dem. But he might be Labour. I can't remember. He used to be my politician 100 million years ago. MP even. He said fracking fucks up nature. Yes. Well, he didn't. I'm paraphrasing. Will the PM ban it? The only people wanting it is net stupid reformatives. He didn't say reformatives.
Is that what he said?
I did. He said reform.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's Labour.
And Starmer said that Labour will be banning fracking for a kick-off. The fossil fuel market's too unstable.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a really good answer, actually, to be fair, because it's another answer to reforms. And more recently, Kemi Badenoch's been jumped on the drill baby drill thing as well. So that shuts that down, hopefully. But
it's ridiculous. And then at that point, I thought...
Sorry, I was just going to say, for clarity, he's the Labour MP for Sefton.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. And after 3.5 pages, I thought, I think I've done enough. That pretty much covers it.
Yeah. Well, I watched it and I listened to it, and I've got the same thought of things. Have you got something else on it? I've got one thing to add to it, but that's all.
Oh no, please do. I'm done for PMQ.
Yeah, it was just my local MP was asked a question quite late on, but it was the House was still busy, and he actually got a clip on BBC Politics Twitter, which is pretty cool. Simon Ofer, his name is, or Offer maybe, and he asked if the PM will condemn those who spread false rumours about vaccinations and platform anti-vaxxers. Obviously a nod in the direction of Reform UK Limited 2025 and their party conference, which we'll talk about in a bit, last weekend. And Keir Starmer said, the man who wrote Reform's health policy has made shocking and baseless claims that vaccines are linked to cancer. So, and he looked up to his right-hand side as he said it towards Mr. Blue Suit Farage in the corner, but he didn't mention him by name, so that's cool. Yeah.
He turned up today, did he?
Yeah, in his blue suit, the same one he wore to Congress last week, same one he wore at conference. I think he's trying to get in.
He's sweaty little bastard.
Oh, he's just got some job lot from China, I assume, like everything else, like his football shirts.
A freebie with his footy shirts, yeah. Unless he bought the suit and got 100 million free T-shirts.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you were right when you said earlier there was a definite concerted effort not to mention them by name, and after Farage had said to Beth Rigby at the weekend, I don't even see the point in me going to PMQs anymore. So
if that's not entitlement God complex, I don't know what is.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So that was good on my MP for standing up and talking about the vaccines.
Absolutely.
Because it's important that whole nonsense from the weekend Reform Party conference is talked down. So you did a good job of that.
Oh, I tell you what else there is, and it was only like sort of interesting to me, I suppose, because I'm in the same boat. But somebody stood up and asked about their constituent who needs surgery and has to go to Spain because the NHS won't do it. And
all right,
what's he supposed to do? And I went, oh, is that what MPs do when their constituents can't get the surgery the NHS won't give them? I'll have to let my MP know.
Yeah. Oh, she won't care, will she? She won't have an answer for you.
But that's literally what she should have done for me. But she sat there and went, I don't know what to do. Such fun.
I know. It is. So, PMQ's done, I think. Shall we move on to the weekly Reform Roundup bit? What everyone tunes in for, PMQs of the week and now Reform Roundup. I think that's it. Not interested in anything else.
I did find the key to fixing mental health.
Nigel Farage's house. Oh, right, sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. That was benefits of psilocybin are never to be underestimated.
Yeah.
My friend had nature's bounty of mushrooms bestowed on them from the actual outside, and coincidentally took them on Friday and then watched the Reform conference and reliably informed me that it's the funniest thing in the whole entire world that's ever actually happened. And everybody should be allowed to go through that experience because it was wonderful, she tells me.
Yeah.
Until you've watched Andrea Jenkins in a spangly suit singing out of key to a terrible song that she claims to have written herself, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You've never lived. So I was...
It was quite the
delighted
thing
to hear that.
Yeah, I'm glad your friend enjoyed that because it sounds like she had a great time watching Andrea Jenkins because I don't think many other people did.
She actually cleaned the makeup off her face with tears.
I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I think that's one word summation of the entire party conference would be laughable. That would sum it up pretty well. I mean, there was elements of, well, there was all sorts of elements in it, really. I've lost my notes now. Where are they? There they are. But there was fascism on display. There was physical assaults on display. All sorts, really. But there was racists on platform. There was anti-vaxxers on the platform. But yeah, I think a one-word sum up would be laughable, which is a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, so for anyone who is not involved in politics, welcome. I don't know what you're doing listening to us, but hey.
Well, I like to think we're politics for people who don't do politics.
Yeah, that's fair, I think. So just as a sum up then.
God, I haven't even mentioned my bus driver. Sorry, I put that on my list.
Oh, no. We'll come back to that. Reform UK had their party conference this weekend at the NEC, which was, I think, generously 3/4 full for the most part. Nigel Farage's big speech on Friday, it was definitely not full. There was a good maybe quarter of the seats unfilled. But, you know, that's a bit of hubris for you when you want to try and fill a 20,000. I think it was between 15 and 20,000. Something stupid. It was huge. So, I mean, they did all right. They got enough bums on seats, I reckon. They charged enough money for it. So Farage has made a fortune. He could probably buy another house with it. I mean, give it to his girlfriend. I mean, you know, anyway. So, yeah. there wasn't much to say really about the first day. It was just the usual Farage talking rubbish, David Bull talking rubbish. But then they brought out the lovely Alison Pearson, who is a Telegraph, in inverted commas, journalist, to talk. She has a podcast, and they did a live podcast about in front of the crowd. And their extra special guest they brought out was none other than Lucy Connolly, of all people.
Can I just stop?
Yeah, no,
stop you there.
I was just going to set you up because Sal said to me earlier, "Did you see her walkout music?" And I said, "No, I didn't see it. Please, what was it?" And she said, "No, I'm going to tell you when we're on."
Oh, yeah, your live reaction to this. So, our lovely mate Gil King, at GYLLKING, had a very astute observation. Mainly, I don't watch these things unless I have to. And there was no way I was going to watch that because there was nothing going to come from it that would have been of any interest. And if there was, I'd have heard about it separately. So I didn't watch it. And then Gil posted a clip and went, "What the fuck are they doing? Having her walk-on music be Gary Glitter."
Oh, come on. Was it?
It was. I made a note of it. The studio jingle sampling of Rock and Roll Part 1.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck me.
Yes.
Oh, they didn't do that without thinking about it either. That's not an accident, right?
Do you not reckon?
Oh, my God.
I mean...
No. The stage management that went into that thing, that whole party conference it was high level. I mean, the stage managing was incredible. It was really well put together. It was a good, top tier kind of concert level production. So everything they did, so I'll come back to this as well, because the antivaxxer, which we'll talk about in a minute, that they then denied was anything to do with reform after he'd been on stage. But everything was planned. So I'm going to look into that because that's weird. And that's just not right, is it? You can't come out to put Gary Glitter on, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, do you want me to find it?
I don't know if you play.
Well, no, you see, she thinks it's a studio. Well, listen for yourself.
I will have a look at it.
I won't play it long enough to...
No, don't trigger the royalties part of it.
Oh, no, it'll be like 10 seconds long or something.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find... Because it's just like, I was never a rock and roll big fan, but even I, know that fucking music. I'll have to go back a few days to carry on talking while I find it.
Yeah, cool. So Alison Pearson did her podcast with Lucy Connolly. Lucy Connolly made some claims. One of which came out was that potentially the police had tampered with evidence in her case. I'm not sure how the police could tamper with a tweet.
The tweets?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem, you see, because she's not blessed with high intellectual rigor. I'm trying to be polite. And so you can't come on stage in front of 15,000 people and go, the police tampered with evidence in my case, when the evidence that they had was in the public domain and is a piece of the internet. It's a tweet, for fuck's sake. You can't tamper with it. But I think Nadine Dorries backed that up afterwards as well. And she said very similar, being interviewed later. But again, Nadine Dorries not exactly...
Well, she's in the same boat. They're too much confidence, not enough education.
Exactly, that's right. And so that was, I thought, the most interesting thing that came out of Lucy Connolly's interview, because we've read all about it. Nothing needs to be said, as you pointed out before. It's just a rehash of what we've had shoved down our faces if you've been on social media for the last year. Anything that Alison Pearson touches, it's got Lucy Connolly's name on it now. I'm surprised
she's such a grifting terror, that woman.
Well, she's created this cottage industry about Lucy Connolly, and the amount of money she must have made from her. I'm surprised she doesn't have a T-shirt or a tattoo of Lucy Connolly on her somewhere, but she might have a tattoo.
Oh, did you see the person who did get the reform tattoo?
Oh, I did see that lady, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Was it a big Reform Wales tattoo I think she had on her arm, and got a picture with Farage for the trouble. But Anyway, so what else happened at the party conference? Not loads. Farage said to Congress last week that he never banned people from anywhere. He was all about free speech. Dale Vince was banned. Byline Times was banned. The New World magazine was banned. Narinder Kaur was banned. I mean, we talked about it last week. Femi's banned. And then some people did get in to protest. I saw during his speech, particularly, a young woman who must have been early 20s, I'm guessing, was literally picked up almost by her hair and the throat and dragged out by, I don't know, 10 huge blokes instead of just asked to leave. And then I saw again the following day, they did exactly the same to a guy. They picked him up physically. To me, it looked like assault. If I was them, I'd be pursuing avenues.
Found it.
Go on.
Listen.
So I am, of course, referring to Britain's favourite political prisoner. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the warmest of welcomes to Lucy Connolly.
Hi, just a little interjection from me. That song isn't Gary Glitter. I've done some checking, and what it is by a guy called Sugoi, and a track called San Pedro. It's actually a royalty-free. I've just downloaded it for free off of academicsound.com. So I just, for clarity's sake, just want to point out that it isn't actually Gary Glitter. So have a listen briefly, but it's not Gary Glitter on this occasion. Yeah, I'll credit the artist below, but it's free. The Telegraph didn't even pay for it. But Britain's favourite political prisoner. What is that for an introduction? That's mad. It's just mad.
Disgusting.
It is. It's just creating this image that she's, Nelson Mandela. The woman's a fucking just a nasty racist piece of shit. Excuse my French. But all right.
Yeah, you just reminded me of something I hadn't made a note of. But yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Anyway, Lucy Connolly can get in the bin. That's my opinion. And then, really, not an awful lot was said. I saw Darren Grimes was up on stage, I think, on the Saturday. There was about 12 people in for him. Nobody's interested in what he's got to say. Go on.
Have you got nothing else to say about the conference?
Oh, no, I've got a few bits, but I was just saying no one's got anything else to say no one wants to hear what Darren Grimes has got to say.
Well, did you notice anything at the end at the sparkly celebrity police lineup?
Which bit?
The one where they were singing a song to a woman who's been dead for over 2 years.
Oh. God Save the Queen, yes. I did see that, yeah. That was Jenkins again, though, wasn't it? She was...
I do hope Old Sausage Fingers is incredibly insulted.
Yeah, Chucky Sausage Fingers is really pissed off.
I mean, like, what the? I don't understand. Did they do it deliberately, or are they all just brain dead?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think the latter in that scenario, definitely. Andrea Jenkins seemed to sort of, whenever I turned on Twitter or the news, it was just Andrea Jenkins singing something really badly out of tune, and then
oh god,
she's been on all week. Every day she was on Talk TV singing. She was on GB News singing. She's just like, someone needs to just have a quiet word with her and say, Andrea, no.
From what I've picked up, she's basically like all her life she's been desperate to get on stage and be a performer, and she's just not had the talent, and so she's ended up where she is now.
Yeah.
Flogging a dead horse, and like that's some serious psychological issues there. If that's your whole raison d'etre.
She wanted to be in Eurovision, didn't she? That was the thing that she really desperately wanted to be in.
You see, I didn't know that, but that very much plays in.
It fits, doesn't it? Yeah. No, I read that. What part of her sort of childhood dreams was to be a singer in Eurovision? So.
I would genuinely donate an arm if it meant I could sing like an angel. because I've actually cleared half of St David's Cathedral singing Jerusalem about 20 years ago, and I haven't sung since because I wouldn't like to do that to people on purpose. I mean, everyone was laughing, so it was fine. We're all having a good time. But no. Think of the cats.
I know, poor cats.
Although, Tilly Thorpe did a brilliant antidote to it that I retweeted yesterday. So if you go to Matilda Thorpe's account.
Yeah.
In fact, it might
that.
be worth seeing if we can stick it into this one or part 2, because it's very, very good.
Yeah, sorry, I've just had a message from someone about something which we'll talk about in a minute, which is interesting. Yeah, no, I'll have a look at Matilda Thorpe. Yeah, I mean, everything she does is brilliant. As you know, I've been a bit offline this week with not feeling too hot. Hence why I look a bit like a tramp this week, if anyone's watching us. Apologies, but
you look rugged.
Yeah, right. I look like I haven't slept in about 5 days, which is exactly the truth. But anyway, so let's finish up on the Reform Conference, because effectively there was nothing to see apart from Andrew Jenkins in a spangly onesie, the racist Connolly, and then on the last afternoon, Sunday afternoon, Asim Malhotra gets up on stage. Now, Asim Malhotra, in case anyone's not aware, came to fame during COVID and has subsequently made, I think, a sizable amount of money living from being very anti-vax, and specifically around the COVID vaccination, and talking about turbo cancer, this mythical thing that sort of was invented during COVID by all the kind of strange people. And him and Carol Sikora, who's his partner, I'll come to that, were both pretty prominent in that field, and they still are to this moment. And he got up on Sunday and said that COVID vaccines were probably what caused King Charles's cancer.
That's outrageous.
What? I mean, what? So
where's he from? Is he American?
No, he's British, I think. He's on the GMC. So Dr. Rachel Clark, who's a really good follow on Twitter.
On the GMC?
Yeah. He's not been struck off. Still on the register. Yeah, exactly. Insert mind blown emoji. Exactly. So he's a licensed to practice doctor in Britain, and he's on stage at the Reform UK conference promoting the conspiracy theory, that King Charles got cancer because of COVID vaccines. So cue small, minute bit of scrutiny for Reform afterwards, because they got a bit, not much, but they got a bit. What I wrote something in August that I'd discovered on Nigel Farage's Register of Interest, which was that he is the chairman and founder of something called Action on World Health. I'll put a link to my article that I wrote about it, because it's quite interesting. He's set this up, and it's an anti-WHO campaign, World Health Organization. And their kind of raison d'etre, to use your phrase from a minute ago, is to scrap the WHO and have everyone have bodily autonomy. Basically, that's their thing. And on their chief health advisor...
That means everyone can fucking fend for themselves. That's what that means. Eugenicists and knobheads.
Like Florida in this week, who've basically, the chief surgeon has said they're going to drop every single vaccine mandate for all children. Every vaccine
Best of luck with that, dickheads.
Yeah. That's the chief surgeon in Florida has said he's going to do that as of next month.
Where's Newsom on that?
Newsom's California, isn't he? So this goes in Florida.
Sorry.
Florida.
Sorry, my American geography is letting me down.
No, Florida's where Trump lives down south.
Where am I thinking?
Orlando and all that. But yeah, Gavin Newsom's in California.
What's the state
on
Florida?
Georgia above it.
No, what state's Florida in? Is Florida's the state?
No, Florida's the state, yeah. That's where Trump lives, in Mar-a-Lago. I'm
suffering from too much knowledge at the minute, sorry. It's all...
Yeah, I know, it's too much. So anyway, so the WHO Action on World Health is going to basically. It's a big anti-vax thing. And their chief health advisor is called Asim Malhotra, and their second chief health advisor is Carol Sikora. And these two, everyone was like, oh, why have Reform got this guy up on stage? I'm like, look at Nigel Farage. This guy works for Farage. It's not, I wrote about this. It's really, really easy to find it out. And not a single media interview did I see. They were asked about it. Everyone asked them about, or why are you platforming anti-vaxxers? Not, why does this guy work for Nigel Farage? No one asked that. Not a single person. So once again, the media are being lax.
Shit.
Very, very lax. Yeah, exactly. I saw Lewis Goodall, actually, credit to him this week, did a decent job interrogating Layla Cunningham about it on his show on Sunday and LBC. But I mean, he still
But he needs to do that to Farage.
Yeah, exactly. But he also still didn't ask enough detail from her. Like, why does this guy work for Nigel Farage? Because it's not hard to find out. I found it really quickly and wrote an article about it. It's out there. It's a very strange, but they took a bit of stick from that, and they had to divert and deflect quite quickly, I think, from the anti-vax thing. So,
But didn't they shove over a journalist as well for asking about his tax affairs?
oh, that was it a Mirror journalist? I think, yeah, I think, or maybe it was Sky News. Yeah, it was a woman. I know it was Sky News. It's Serena. I'll find out, and I'll put a clip in because
Like all
they
of
pushed
this
her out
should
the
be
way.
headline shit.
I know, and that's without even what happened on Sunday. The news broke about Nigel Farage's house in Clacton. That isn't Nigel Farage's house in Clacton at all. He'd lied about it several times.
Which one of those two houses are we talking about, Don?
This is the Clacton £900,000 house, not the Kent £4 million house or whatever it is. But yeah, the one that he told everyone he bought, lied to the public about on multiple occasions, said he lived there at one point to Nick Ferrari, said, oh, you can always find me on a Saturday morning out for the essentials now. Turns out, no, didn't. It's not his house. It's his girlfriend's house. A woman called Law Ferrari, who is, let's say, the subject of some interest with some people at the moment looking into her, because I'm not going to say too much because I've got something brewing on this, and I think between myself and another person, we've got some stuff on Farage and that potential.
Oh, can I just, I don't know, for my part anyway, somebody who's done some brilliant work on this last few days is Mr. Ethical. NW Nicholas on Twitter. Well, I didn't want to conflate because no,
that's the person I'm looking at it with. Yeah.
He's not hiding, but
no,
he's been amazing. He took on HSBC a while back and won, and he is very much like us, and he just won't stand for it. And he's been writing and reporting all over the shop for the last few days. So thank you very much to him, and keep it up. And great working with him and that.
Yeah, that's Nick. Nick,
done, boys. That's what I'm trying to say.
He was the one that got onto me last weekend, and between us we've looked at it, and he's been going hell for leather on it, and I've been doing a bit more digging in the background, and he's who's just sent me a message actually a minute ago. So, yeah.
But it's weird because she doesn't come from money, and she hasn't got a pot to piss in, and somehow she bought an £885,000 house with cash. That's nothing to see.
I know.
Yeah.
She was a waitress in a cocktail bar when he met her.
When she met him.
Yeah, that way around. Yeah. She was, though. She was a waitress in Strasbourg. But according to Farage, the reason she could afford nearly £1 million house in cash was because she came from family money. But if you look at her business records for the last 10 years, she's never declared more than £10,800 on her tax return. So suddenly, but what she had a consultancy company, and then in 2021 it changed the name from LF Consulting to Baxter Loire, and Baxter Loire was Nigel Farage's gin company when he launched.
Oh yeah, because she's on the hook for that, isn't she?
Well, this is it. So he launched this big red, white, blue gin company, and this is the bit I'm looking into at the moment, which I think is completely, I'll say, I think is a front.
Fraudulent.
Yeah. And I think she took the hit for it, as you just said, she then put the company in her name, and it's been gone to strike off a couple of times and then suddenly pulled back from the brink. And that happened today, 9th of September, yesterday. It was set to be struck off, what they call a first gazette on Companies House, which means it's ready to be struck off. And then all of a sudden, all this press came on, and yesterday it was withdrawn. So it's still trading officially as of today, the 10th of September. So that's interesting in itself, but there's an awful lot behind the scenes on that, which I'm not going to mention at the moment because I've got to get all my ducks in a row, but there's stuff there. Between myself and Nick, Mr. Ethical, we've got some bits going on in the background. So hopefully by next week, or maybe even part 2, we might have something interesting to talk about with that. But yeah, it stinks. It's absolutely rank. And as we would expect, the media will not ask him about it. Beth Rigby mentioned it to him a bit on Sunday, and he got really stroppy, so she pulled back. She just pulled back away as soon as he started getting stroppy, like they all do. They're obviously told.
That's how you know. That's how they give themselves away.
Yeah, exactly. The media are obviously told you can interview him, but there's a certain point you can get to, and if he starts getting stroppy, you have to pull back. That's what happens every single time with him.
They should just not interview him at all.
Yeah, exactly. Leave him alone. Let him fucking stew, like they did in PMQs, which was great because you could see him like sitting there getting a bit stroppy because nobody mentioned his name for once.
It's mad narcissism, isn't it? I mean, literally a madness.
Just a bit. So,
how long have we been going now?
About an hour or so now. So, let's have a look at my notes a minute. Yeah, I haven't got an awful lot more on that. No, I think that's my reform roundup done for the week, really. There is more to come, as I said, with Farage and his girlfriend. But watch this space on that one.
Yeah. Should we enter our funny clip here and do a part 2?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
A bit of Larry and Paul speaking absolute geniusnesses. I'm not saying words well, am I? Yeah, one of the most accurate sketches they've done to date, and they are very good at being accurate.
They are. They're awesome. And I'm going to call them friends of the pod now because I messaged them earlier and they said immediately came back to me and said, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, please put our clip in. So, yeah, cheers, Larry and Paul.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
I've been at LARP for a while now. An unofficial one because I'm too poor, but you know.
Well, yeah. Yeah, let's put in Larry and Paul's clip and we'll say goodbye for part 1 and we'll see you in part 2.
See you soon. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like and stuff and things. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yes, please. Bye.
Welcome to Broken News. Well, the tech world has been in a state of fevered anticipation ahead of the release of Apple's new range of products today. Rumours have been rife around what huge surprises the tech giant has in store for us, and our reporter has the details.
An iPhone that's 1mm bigger, an iPad in a very slightly different colour than the other ones, and a MacBook you can't plug anything into are among the fresh and exciting new range of Apple products announced today. Prices are changing too, with the latest iPhone now available for only the cost of a 2015 Skoda Octavia liftback 1.6 TDI with 16-inch alloy wheels and hydraulic brake assist. And the new iPhone retains well-loved features like an easily smashable screen and a 34-minute battery life. Consumers will also be given the option to put all their data in iCloud or face a firing squad. At the product launch event, a man who isn't Steve Jobs anymore but has stolen his wardrobe, looks a bit like Ellen DeGeneres and talks like a Texas pig farmer, announced a unique new feature, a slightly different charger for every single individual Apple device. How wonderful. Back to you.
Thank you. Well, in a statement just released, Apple's chief technical officer said, "We haven't thought too much about these products. We don't need to anymore because nerds will buy them anyway at the full retail price, and some of them will even queue through the night like proper twats." What a lovely story. Well, that's all from Broken News. You're up to date.